So we had a discussion the other day in one of the classes about the busyness of the Abbey, how we relate to the activities. Um, and that brought back some memories about when I first came to the Abbey and how I felt quite overwhelmed by everything that was happening here. And I had no idea how I would be able to keep up with what was going on. So many projects, so many activities. And I, of course, brought my worldly mind to this place, the mind that lived with checklists and getting things done and trying to feel good about that and trying to control what was going to be what I was doing or not. So I, of course, practiced that. That's kind of the normal thing that you do in the world. And of course, it brought no contentment and no happiness. So then I came here and I started applying that same habit, which is ignorant, isn't it? It's quite dumb. So thinking about, trying to react against and push away from, everything that is expected of us, all the things, that there's something out there called this busyness that, comes at me and then I have to react to it and it's too much and I can't do it and I don't want this one and I would rather do that one and, on and on and on and on. It's the typical self-centered mind. And of course, what's interesting to me is I spent quite a few years wasting my time trying to push against the busy, that was the problem. It was the busy, it certainly wasn't anything with my mind. It was, quit putting so many things on the list, quit telling me to do so many things, So, if we're bodhisattvas in training, that means that we have the intention to transform our mind and body into a Buddha's mind and body. And in order to do that, we have to accumulate vast amounts of merit and wisdom. And of course, the Buddha laid out the path to do this. So if we think of it that way, then busy is the work of bodhisattvas. So one of the biggest obstacles to progressing on the path is to relate to everything in my day-to-day living with just the idea of just the happiness of this life. That's my old habit. That's how I lived out in the world. I've already practiced that quite a lot, and it did not bring any contentment or any happiness, and it didn't help me transform my mind in a virtuous way at all. So if I can start thinking and training myself to think in terms of multiple lifetimes, then the activities that we do here take on a whole different meaning. And then I can start using, and it becomes an opportunity to use the activities to transform my mind. I really love the precision of the path, the ability to know and then precisely practice the development of the qualities of the Buddha. I mean, think about that for a minute. The recipe is right there, and we have access to it. So what are some of the qualities of a Buddha? So in volume 5, in Praise of Great Compassion by His Holiness and Venerable Chodron, they're listed. Buddhas are able to manifest an infinite number of emanations. simultaneously appearing in whatever form is suitable to communicate with specific sentient beings. They appear throughout the universe wherever sentient beings have created the karma to be receptive to their awakening influence. And although these emanations appear to be ordinary people, their bodies are not made of atoms. And the Buddha's emanation body is pleasing to look at, but does not generate attachment in the viewer. Those are all pretty cool, you know, quite nice. Yeah. And then Shakyamuni Buddha's emanation body has 32 signs and 80 marks of a great person. And each of these signs is the result of having practiced specific virtuous deeds. And in the book, it talks about the Flower of Compassion Sutra, which talks about the practices the bodhisattvas engage in that assist in the attainment of awakening. And the first three that are listed is generosity as practice to attract others in order to teach them the Dharma. Ethical conduct is a support for accomplishing virtuous aspirations. And then fortitude, through which the 32 signs and 80 marks of a Buddha are perfected. So if I approach the activities that I do each day with a worldly mind, I'm opening the door to my self-centered attitude, the same old that I've practiced many lifetimes. I'm not creating any merit. If I remember that the activities at the Abbey allow me to develop generosity, ethical conduct, and fortitude, then I'm thinking about my long-term goal of Buddhahood in order to help all living beings. And of course, there are many opportunities to be generous here, helping where help is needed, offering kindness, compassion, empathy, you know, the list goes on. And then living in precepts, we're accumulating merit every moment that we are not breaking a precept. So even when we're sleeping, we're accumulating merit. It's helpful for my mind to remember these things so that I am in touch with exactly what we're doing here through these activities. They're very powerful, but with a worldly, only one lifetime mind, I'm not connected to the power of this, you know? And then developing fortitude, that includes practicing keeping balanced no matter what occurs each day, accepting the pace of the activities that go on, whether it feels sometimes like it's way too fast, other times like it's way too slow. And then I have the awareness that I have very little control over the whole process other than how I am reacting. So when I think about the activities that go on here through the perspective of many lifetimes, I'm so grateful that the Buddha taught how to approach life in this way, that we literally can create merit every moment of our life, every moment. And that we can benefit others every moment of the day. Of course, I'm just an ordinary being. But just like all of us, if we continue to practice this way, thinking about what we're doing in the context of many lifetimes, then we'll create the causes to become a Buddha. And then we'll be able to manifest infinite numbers of emanations to help living beings in the future. So instead of labeling what I'm doing here in the context of busyness, worldly busyness, I can rejoice in the opportunity to practice all of the perfections that will lead to becoming a bodhisattva and then a Buddha.